everyone, and welcome back to Dual Destinies. Sorry, it has been a long time, but with college starting, I've been really busy. So we're gonna finish up this rest of the half of the trial, and that should be good. Again, I don't know when I'm gonna stream because I'm kind of like on a fast track where the teachers are rushing in papers, quizzes, and tests, and I have to focus on that because I do want to graduate college. Anyway, let's turn back up the volume a bit, and let's go back to Dual Destinies. I trust you know why you're here. Bags. Bags? Oh, that risky tanuki. Try the noodle stand and go enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian. No, I meant your bags, the ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. I think he has more troubles than that. Here, this charm will keep Azukurai away. I butchered that, I'm sorry. Azukuraya, the yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off. Oh my god. Azukurai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Oh. Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell's got more than you bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but together, those two are just plain creepy. Oh, I think it's cute. Like, that's cool. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene. What Jinxie saw. Did I see Tenma Taro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, I know, I remember. Yeah, it's cold here too. Yokai, right there in that room. So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Lots and lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenma Taro happen to be among them? I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is the room was swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nikorakaba, Satoshisho. They were all there. Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. I've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scump's testimony? Oh. Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. A quick therapy session should... Oh, wait. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course. Oh, a therapist. Where have you been the last 3 Ace Attorney games? What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Mrs. Sykes. You sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land. I'll show you. I love Widget. Widget's so cute. I don't care. Wow! Let me see Tenma Taro. Well, I opened the door. I saw. Now I remember. Oh my god. Okay, in that room. Found something? Looks like an all out of control emotion. Athena, what exactly are we looking at here? Oh, this? It's one of Widget's functions. Right here you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa, you mean like that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems the sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. So all the yokai she thinks are there are just products of rampant emotions? Yes, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal, everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. And the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was and still is seeing ordinary objects as yokai. We'll have to find the root cause for her strange fear before I can treat it. Now, let's see. Apollo, can you pinpoint point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by testing probe. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out of control emotion. Finally, tap probe again and get this reading on there. Okay, let's give this a try. Got it. Jinxie, what's the name of the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? That's Akasha, a yokai that steals bodies of recently deceased. My God in heaven, that's terrifying. I bet it came to steal the Aldermans. It's almost creepy how well that fits into the actual situation. Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaken for Akasha. Apollo, you need to pinpoint what she thought was a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? I think it's the light fixture. Like... I think what's this? The light fixture? This one around here. It has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. That was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. That Akasha you saw was just a light fixture. I wonder what the teacups are. That looks cool. That's one Mary back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to pinpoint the rest. Oh man, the guitars. Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster? That's Nukaraba. It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray. That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. Oh my God. And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. Just the statue of one. And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue. Eek! I don't know what I was thinking. You did it, Apollo! Her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See? A clear-cut statement. That's the power of my psychological... Wait, no. That's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. That's cute. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the fox chamber. Wait a minute. Right. There never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. Yeah. Fuck! Wait, Jinxie? What about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone that dressed up as Tenmataro or any of the yokai either. Well, I remember it clearly now. Well, you've gotta be joking! Oh, I love those two. Oh man, I love them. Order, order in the court. I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you in. It's the least I could do. No! Apollo! Can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does this mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update. Okay. Can we do anything yet? I don't know. This seems like a natural reaction. Yeah, I messed up. Oh, so I'm sorry for giving her testing. Hello, is anyone there? Just nod if you can hear it. Yes. Okay, I think they wanted me to run through it. Did I see Did I see Tenmataro? Yeah, okay. Whoops, alright. I thought we could do stuff. Okay. Yep, they're dead. They're including Tenmataro. Wait, what am I supposed to do? Try to find the emotion that contradicts her statements. So if I find a contradictory emotion, I should point it out? That's right. But it's not just contradictory emotions you should look out for. You should also keep an eye out for the sudden change in an emotion's intensity. Her emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement. It's important to compare how the emotions changes throughout the testimony. Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I thought Black was okay with this, but not with Apollo. Yeah, okay. The amount of fear you felt is rather low despite your legs giving out from the fight. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she were there with me. Okay, I'll enter a sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look. Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Oh, really? Okay. I thought that was longer. Bye-bye. A sudden burst of courage. Now, where could have that come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yes, there was, but I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what I could have gotten Jinxie courage? Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if if she saw something like this at the crime scene. Jinxie, did your sudden burst of courage have something to do with this? Flower. Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a nine-tails flower there at the scene, did you? The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a nine-tails flower on it. I liked it so much, I kept it. You what? You can't just remove evidence from a crime scene? Well, it wasn't a crime scene yet. Or was it? I don't know how that works. That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will proceed, produce said evidence this instant. I can't talk today. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look at your baldness? This is none other than the master key to QB Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. A master key? That went missing. Don't I like the sound of that? What? Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the Fox Chamber has been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could have used it before, during, and after the murder, which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is, until Jinxie Tenma opened the Fox Chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world, and there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma himself would be utterly inconceivable. No! Well... Athena to the rescue.
How could this happen?
The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations. Athena, are you alright?
I know Mayor Tenma's innocent,
but there's nothing we can do.
This sucks.
It's like, Stono, allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. This will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great! Now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks.
No, I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight.
Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap. Now I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
Alright, I'll be back in 10!
What the frick? Stay with me, Athena! Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai!
Follow.
Mr. Justice, I heard the word objection, and what is it you object to? Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. I was hoping something would come up to me while I was trying to stop Athena. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice. Though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills suspect of this it. Now, do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case? Man, Phoenix must be freaking out. Well, actually, I do! I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine!
Apollo, you do have something more than your court to steal, don't you?
Not really, but we'll be fine! Got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room, because it's all over if I don't. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box, or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is, too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument? No! You bet I do! The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Vague conjecture shall earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die. Literally. I don't think he's gonna murder you on the stand. The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened?
No, I'm fine. Just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so?
The choices are pretty limited. The room has a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out.
Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. That's actually true. We need to rule out the all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposed that the killer escaped through here. The front door. The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came on the scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and lock it without a key? I should have seen this coming.
Remember, Apollo, keep it simple.
Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but... Mr. Justice, the prosecution has a fine Japanese steel waiting unless you explain yourself quickly. Oh my god, the judge is okay with that. I'm fine! Then again, he was fine with Phoenix getting whipped by Francisco, so I guess, I don't know. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber hallway door was locked was because... What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door and then locked it. Ouch! Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox chamber, and any assertion that key was removed from the room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction.
If only we could explain both, like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Oh, let's see if the defense can respond before Prosecutor Blackwell draws his sword. Well, you ready? How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked? Tight. What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, like something like... Go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back through the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There is a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in there isn't a possibility. Oh, right.
Wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window.
Somewhere other than the window. Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? Yeah, the air duct. The air vent? Oh, here we go. Yes, the window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not.
Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway.
That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox chamber, then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. That's preposterous.
Oh, that explains how the key got in there and after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. You're always confused, Your Honor. Don't worry. I'll explain it even so Your Honor can understand. That's kind of a low blow there. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenmataro, murdered the alderman in the Fox chamber. Then, they fled through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do was go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing! Even I could follow that!
The judge seems really pleased.
That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenwataro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, it looks like the lawyer has been the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that was a total turnabout! That massive forehead is so attractive now. You sure that's not like Clavier? Order, 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 I say. Now that I've proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty. Oh. A valiant effort, Justice Dono, but your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both that scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door? That's exactly what happened! The killer fled through the youch! But that is impossible without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. Oh, yeah. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. Electric eye? I've never heard a camera called that. However, there was no sign of Tenmataro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good. Apollo, don't say that.
Ooh, hello. Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera.
Feel like you've done something like that before. Hey, you're right!
Silence.
Well... Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains but investigative powers to boot. That is the cliffside of the manor. Oh, we have something. The only killing escaping that way would be a dead one. No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window?
What the heck, right? This is blown.
Ha! I suppose your next proposal is that the killer spotted wings and flew out into the sunset. That would mean the killer really was a yokai.
If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer.
Who said you don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be.
What? You are saying we could prove the killer could fly?
Whoa, I thought I was the only one with the cord of steels. Oh, I can't wait to hear this one. Your Honor? What evidence do you have that the killer flew away? Yes. Take a look at the special edition paper. Tenmataro rear flight to fancy. What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? The photo in the article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo was the killer shortly after they fled out the window? Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting... Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Tenmataro flew away, you know, by some way or another.
Silence.
It is your brain that has flown the coop. The image is not but a trick of photography or some other form of artifice. He's not wrong. I've messed around with Photoshop. You can do that. Okay, then how about the Tenmataro figure Mr. Flinch saw? It just vanished into thin air? No, there was a rational common sense explanation for that. The infernal yokai, our tricksy tanuki witness, never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned before the camera's electric eye. She? I don't like where this is going one bit. Now, the fact that we don't know the yokai come from the fox chamber means that there is most likely either Denma Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time. Not good. Not good at all. Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenmataro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma. Oh no. Ah, no! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever! The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. And it is no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up these mad masquerades. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out the window. Did you truly believe this could end any other way? Did we fall right into his trap?
What do we do now, Apollo?
Our case no longer stands without a real yokai, if only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of Yorewood. Hello. Oh, it's been so long, I heard his voice. The Mayor Tenma. This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenmataro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor, It would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into the yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution will be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess?
Wait! Apollo, Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again!
Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words! If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left alone! The real killer is...
Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something!
Throw Apollo at the stand! I don't know. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away! Caw, caw, caw! Look upon me and despair, for ripe is the time of my return. Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. Caw, 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 foolish mortals! I am Tenma, the yokai you seek! Mayor Tenma? Silence! I am Tenma, free from the bonds binding me to the forbidden chambers! Behold, the return of the Demon King! What the...
Demon King?
Well then, I think it's time for me to... take a vacation! The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tenma, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma, you say? Ha, what nonsense! So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now? Caw, 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 his body is mine now. So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is... being possessed by you? This wouldn't be far-fetched, believe it or not, Your Honor. And that yokai that Jinxie saw Tenma and Mrs. Phineas Flint saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you? The accused power of this warning charm prevents me from revealing my true form. The screen sums up so much. This is your boldness! Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession by yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense case has been overturned. Huh? What? You claim the yokai that little scamp saw was the third party, the true killer? The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber? But it was the accused all along. Ah! Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be the real, in a manner of speaking. For the alderman's killer is none other than the Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place. How so, Prosecutor Blackwell? It seems I must spell it out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the fox chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warning charm from the forbidden chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow by the alderman had delivered to his head. And that's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled onto the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mare. The newly freed Tenma Taro fled from the fox chamber. So, you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma Taro. But when we arrived at the scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How is that possible if he was supposed to have flown away? Well, and what? Do you mean to say the maid of Humane Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma Taro? Oh! Ah! Caw, that too is easily explained. Flew about for a time I did, but presumably thought I made it for the forbidden chamber. But alas, exhausted took me awareness in the fox chamber. I knew no more. It would seem pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again? I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live? So that rumor about the Mayor Tenma is true? You knew yokai were real. You mean he really did kill the Alderman just so we could release Tenmataru? Order, order.
Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai.
Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai. The probable ducks are on the road. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. No, the one with Dahlia is going to be it, Judge. Can yokai even prosecute under our legal system? That is the least of your worries. Hello. Mayor Tenma is pretending to be Tenmataru to protect his daughter. Plus, I've already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature. Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to... This is the dark age of law, where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a play of game time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono. I won't fabricate any evidence. Then prove it by joining me. What? A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation. Oh my god. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is the yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but... What's wrong with him? Prosecutor Blackwell, we have had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that. I never missed you. What in the devil was that? Isn't this kind of illegal to electrocute someone? Fulbright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? Aha! It seems you have found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. This seems wrong in many, many ways. Emma wouldn't do that. She'll pay for this. Simon Blackwell vowed to. Your Honor! You need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurance, aren't we, Detective? Well, in that case... This concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. Oh my god, that was a trial. To be continued. And that's it for today, folks. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and have a nice day. Oh. Let's just play a little longer. Oh, no. Yeah, we're gonna stay here. Now I will pick up right with Athena.